Welcome to another edition of Boxing Inform, your host, the Islander, and this is the results show week ending March the 8th and the preview show. Let's go right through it because on March the 6th on ESPN2, Delvin Rodriguez took on Shimon Alvarez in a fight in which Rodriguez was supposed to be having an IBF Eliminator rematch with Isaac Lucian, who he had a semi-controversial draw with down in South Africa. This is the second fight for Rodriguez since the Diaz fight, and it was push and shove back and forth in which he controlled some parts of the fight. He got tagged and hurt a couple of other times. Scored a knockdown in the 11th round after he had hurt his right hand back in the 8th round, and pretty much sealed the victory then, and went for the kill in the 12th round before he got caught by Alvarez in an exciting fight. I think the judges probably had this as close to being as right as it could. One judge had, I think, Rodriguez winning by 4 points, and the other two had the knockdown being the difference in the fight, and I could live with that. I thought Rodriguez did enough to win the fight. You know, I don't think that either one of these two guys are ever going to be at the elite level of the 147-pound division, but neither here nor there. San Jose, California, the following night on Saturday night on the HBO Boxing After Dark show. I got a little bit to say about this. The show started off with Robert Guerrero taking on Yordan of Indonesia, and much to my surprise, Yordan was teeing off on Robert Guerrero at certain times. You know, punch stat numbers show Guerrero landing more punches, but the highlight reel punches to me were being landed by Yordan. And my thinking on this was that they butted heads in the second round and opened a nasty Z-shaped cut on above Guerrero's eye on his forehead, or his brow, as some people might say. And Guerrero told the doctor he couldn't see and basically took the easy way out of this fight, a no contest. And let me preface this by saying I think personally Guerrero was probably going to win the fight on points, but I also think that maybe he took the easy way out because this guy was definitely a rougher customer than he had thought. And Guerrero's promoted by Golden Boy, HBO loves him, they're in bed with Golden Boy, so he'll be seen again. The next fight was Victor Ortiz versus Mike Aronotus, and this was really no contest. I expected Ortiz to win the fight, but I didn't realize that Aronotus really has no offense whatsoever. He couldn't get anything going, and he got tagged with an overhand left in the second round, backed into the corner, a couple of double and tripling up on the right hands by Ortiz, and an uppercut brought his gloves down. The referee stopped the fight. I thought it might have been stopped a tad too soon. I don't care what Lennox Lewis says. Oh, maybe he agreed with me, and maybe it was Bob Papa that thought it was a correct stoppage. I don't know. Or Max. I don't care. I just think they could have let go on a few more seconds and at least let Ortiz try to get Aronotus off his feet anyway. So it was second round TKO, and there's going to be more about Victor Ortiz. And then came James Kirkland versus Joel Julio, which I expected to be just a monster blowout. Both fighters possibly being put to the canvas. Anything goes. What shocked me about this fight is that I cannot believe that Joel Julio came out and started giving ground to James Kirkland. I know some of you will say, what else is he supposed to do? The only way to beat this guy is to back him up. I mean, it's the only way. And if you want to see how Mike Tyson, the textbook of beating Mike Tyson, watch how Evander Holyfield did it. He stood his ground, Mosley with Margarito. If he couldn't back him up, he locked him up and then pushed him back. And that's the only way somebody's going to beat James Kirkland. He's got an exciting style, and he dominated this fight, took some clean, hard shots. But remember, the shots he took were with Julio off of his back foot and backing up. And I really think that in essence, when Kirkland fights somebody like an Alfredo Angulo, that's when we're going to really see what he's made of. Because I know Angulo kind of used the ring against that Russian guy 2 fights ago, but anybody with half a brain knows that if you're going to beat Kirkland, you better back him up, or you better have one heck of a defense, which Joel Julio is not spectacular with his defense, and he was outgunned. The cut opened up, I don't know what it was, the 4th or 5th round, and it definitely affected Julio, but he did not look like to me he came in the fight in shape and was not prepared for the onslaught that Kirkland was going to bring. And Kirkland, there are huge flaws in his game, don't get me wrong. He's exciting, he'll get TV time, but I'm not so sure he's going to make it to the top. And it's going to be exciting while we watch it. Now, something I didn't cover last week, and that was, I believe on Azteca TV, right, Azteca America, there was a card. I don't get that. Mike Alvarado, who is top ranks 140-pound prospect, opposite Victor Ortiz, took on Emmanuel Clott, who owns a win over Muhammad Abdullayev, and he's been a real tough cookie all the way. That used to be an old saying back in the 50s, from what I understand. Tough cookie, a tough cat, basically. He was stopped in a 10th round TKO by Victor Ortiz last year, and Mike Alvarado was winning a ho-hum fight over him until the last part of the 10th round, and he scored a knockout of the year candidate right hand that knocked Clott out cold. Clott is Joshua Clott's brother, and he had never been hurt like this. Clean knocked out. The referee could have counted to 200. He wasn't getting up. And my, I believe it was Don Italiano had sent me an email at the same time I was thinking about putting this into the show, and that is, with Golden Boy Promotions trying to undo Top Rank and everything that they've worked so hard for, I've got an idea. How about they put their prospect, Victor Ortiz, against Top Rank's 140-pound prospect, Mike Alvarado? Now, understand, I'd make Ortiz the favorite, but I just think that's a risk I'm willing to bet almost everything I own that Golden Boy's not willing to take. If it means taking one of their senior guys and upending the apple cart on Top Rank's, premier stars, they'll do that all day long. But that's the challenge I present to you. And I'm not so sure Bob Arum would be that, crazy about putting Mike Alvarado in that tough this soon either. But, there'd be a good cross, like when Donald Curry fought Marlon Starling, and neither one of them were titleists. One was the USBA champion, one was the NABF champion. They both fought each other, and Donald Curry went on to win the vacant title and then unify the welterweight title. Same thing here. Have Alvarado fight Ortiz. I agree with you, Don Italiano. I think it's a great idea. I don't know whether Golden Boy's willing to risk it, though. All right, schedule for this week. We're already late in the week. Today is Thursday, the 12th, and I don't know whether I'm getting two different sources. Whether these fights were both on the same card, or they're in separate places, or what the deal is. One thing says Kobe, Japan. Another one says Korakuen Hall in Tokyo. I don't know. In Japan, that's all we need to know. Doubleheader. Hasegawa Larios was defending his WBC featherweight title in a rematch with Takahiro Ao, who he barely squeaked by on a split decision the last time they fought, late last year. Well, the fight, it's already happened. Ao won a unanimous 12-round decision and drilled Larios to the canvas in the 4th round. From what I understand, Larios made a strong run at the end, but Ao won a unanimous decision, so he's now the WBC featherweight titleist. Hosumi Hasegawa made title defense number 8 of his WBC bantamweight title. This is a guy that Vic Darchinyan may have his eye on. He took on Vusi Malinga of South Africa and scored both with southpaws, scored 2 knockdowns, and scored a first-round TKO over Malinga for the 8th title defense of his title. So that's already in the books. Tomorrow, March the 13th, in Montreal, IBF 168-pound titleist Lucian Bute is going to try to shake off the effects of a rocky finish against Alvarado Andrade in his last fight, a controversial ending, to take on the very dangerous Fulgencio Zuniga, who has been in rough with Kelly Pavlik, scored a knockdown of Kelly Pavlik before he got himself stopped, and also was the first man to defeat and stop Victor Oganov. Not that seemed like a big deal right now, after Oganov's future fights. But Zuniga is dangerous, and my pick here is that Bute's boxing skills and his size are going to be enough to carry him through this and probably avert a scare, because Zuniga is more of a one-punch power puncher, whereas Alvarado Andrade is a volume power puncher. And, I won't hold it against Bute for wilting at the end of that fight. Anybody would wilt under the pressure that Andrade brings. So I'm going to go with Bute by a clear decision in this fight, unless somehow he feels the effects of that previous fight. March 14th in Manchester, England, on integrated, and that was on Showtime on the Montreal card with Bute. In Manchester, England, on Saturday the 14th, integrated sports pay-per-view. If this is still on, triple header. Enzo Maccarinelli's taking on Ola Afolabi for the vacant interim WBO cruiserweight title. Alright, I'm going with Maccarinelli by a stoppage. I don't know nothing about Afolabi, and I really don't think that they would bring in somebody who's a real threat to Maccarinelli as he's trying to inch his way back from the Hay fight. Alright, the semi-main event here. Nicky Cook is defending the WBO 130-pound title for the first time against Roman Martinez. I'm not sure about this one. Cook won the title in a to me, a significant upset, and whether he is one of those fighters who's made better by winning a title or he's just going to have a letdown, I don't know. I'm not even going to bear picking on this fight. The main event is supposed to be Amir Khan taking on Marco Antonio Barrera. I guess the winner's going to get a shot at a lightweight belt. There were rumors that it was going to be for a vacant WBO belt, but the WBO did the honorable thing by recognizing Juan Manuel Marquez as the winner after he beat Juan Diaz. And in this fight, you know, initially when I heard this being made, I thought to myself, the Khan people would not make this fight unless they knew for sure that they were going to beat Barrera. And then I started thinking, you know, and Barrera has that cut, and also I'm expecting some type of controversy, but here's what I'll say. I'll go on record as saying I'm going to go with Khan just by the slightest of margins. And we'll see the results next week, folks. Thanks for being with me. Thanks.